Thank you for staying with us. Small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria are about to receive a boost. This is because the Stephen Akintayo Foundation is set to launch its $5 million in 5 years grant to support about 1,000 SMEs. As an investment and personal finance growth coach, Dr. Stephen Akintayo is passionate about influencing budding entrepreneurs by teaching them the ropes in investment strategies. The aim of the initiative is to replicate his success as an entrepreneur while also teaching people financial mistakes to avoid. The initiative, which will run from 2023 to 2027 and was launched on Sunday, the 15th of January 2023, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, MD of GTEX Holdings and founder of the Stephen Akintayo Foundation, joins us now via Zoom. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Now, your foundation recently launched the $5 million fund for 5 years to support 1,000 SMEs. Talk to us about this, especially what inspired the creation of the fund.
Well, thank you for having me. I started our company 15 years ago, and I started with just about 1,000 naira. And I knew how tough it was to scale because, I mean, to get a loan, to have anyone support you. I've had to shut down my offices many times during that 15-year period because I couldn't even afford to pay rent. And so as we begin to grow, we're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. I felt that we gain a lot of experience, exposure that we can pass on to younger entrepreneurs. So we started this during COVID-19 when we realized that a lot of businesses were struggling, but it wasn't this structured. So giving some people $1 million naira to support their business, some people 500,000. But now we've come up with a fund for the next 5 years that is very structured. It grows by the time. This year, we're only giving 24 people. Next year, it's increased to 48. 2025, it increased to 120. And that's how it grows. So in total, we then have about 1,000 by 27.
Now, could you give us a better insight, especially a breakdown of how the fund is to be dissipated in terms of percentage?
Well, basically, what we've done is $5,000 grants per entrepreneur. The process is very simple. You apply on Akintayo University, MrAkintayoFoundation.com. That's the website to apply. We have different categories of applications. We have agriculture, we have renewable energy, we have tech, we have young artists. So we have different categories, about 12 of them. So you pick which one fits your own current business, and you can then apply. We shortlist top 50, and those top 50 will have opportunity to be promoted on my own platform, my email, and social media, so that we're also giving them visibility. And then from that top 50, we select top 10 that would pitch on an Instagram live. And from that top 10, we pick just 2 for this year. So every month, two people will be picked this year, and that accumulates into 24 for 2023. Now, next year, it's increased to 4 people per month. That gives us 48. The year after, it increased to 10 per month. And then the year after, it increased to 20. And like that till the 2027 when it's going to be elapsing. Hopefully, we may be able to extend it or not, but it's up to the organization funding. So majority of the fundings is coming from GTEX Homes, real estate arm, where we launch a 1,000 housing unit. So a portion of what's coming from that is going towards supporting these SMEs.
Now that you have told us how you came about the funding, let's look at who are those that can take advantage of this. Are we looking at existing businesses, or startups, and how many people can actually come together, maybe as clusters? Can they take advantage of this?
Okay, very good question. So first of all, it's for startups, but they've started. We don't want just ideas. Ideas are good, but until they are, acted upon, they're just in the air. And many people also have similar ideas. So we're looking for people who have just started a business, but it has started. You've been able to demonstrate the value you bring to the marketplace. You have been able to demonstrate that people are willing to pay for that value. And then we're hoping that the $5,000 grant helps you to scale it even more. Those are the kind of people we're looking for. Of course, partners, if there are 2 founders or 4 founders who started the company, why not? They can apply, but it's just individual companies that are applying, not like a group of companies. We also advise that if your company is a bit stable, you don't need to apply, so that you give chance for a lot of other younger businesses to be able to leverage on it. We're also giving the money. It's not as if we have all the money. We're looking for money to build our houses as well. So everybody always needs money in business. But it's out of the little you're making. If you have a heart to say, can we channel a portion to still help as many people as we can? That's all we're doing. It's not as if we have money or we have everything all figured out. No.
Right. So is there the possibility of perhaps increasing this funding from what it is now, $5 million, to perhaps 10, 15 in coming years?
Absolutely, yes. The answer is yes. We have a vision 2035. The goal is to build 25,000 housing. So we hope that the success of those projects becomes, what is able to help fund this grant and be able to even increase it. Secondly, also is that we know that as you start funding like this, a lot of friends, a lot of partners, a lot of other organizations will ultimately approach us at some point to say, hey, we have more funds so that it can be released to more people. Because one of the unique things about what we're doing is that we're not just giving people money. They are going to be given access to Akintayo universities, an online portal where from Robert Kiyosaki, John Maxwell, Grant Cardone, myself, great entrepreneurs have done courses to help these entrepreneurs succeed, to help them in their personal life, in their business, and structure for their business as well. So the top 50 are even getting not just money, they will be able to get the opportunity to have training. Also, many of the winners as well, even those who don't win, will also have opportunity to have like office space. So we currently have about 7 offices in Nigeria. We have 4 outside Nigeria, Dubai, US, UK. We're adding 10 new offices in Nigeria this year. So we're giving opportunity for some of these people to also be able to use our office location as their office, because some of them can't even afford to have certain, offices in certain high, brow locations. And so these are part of what we're giving them. Also, is an apprenticeship opportunity, because you also will use that to be able to say how we are growing our business and pick a thing or two as to how you can replicate that in yours as well. So we are hoping this goes beyond just the money they're getting, but they're able to find a role model, they're able to find an apprentice model to help them scale their own business as well.
Right. You mentioned that this began in 2020, and I am wondering if there are success stories that you can speak to us about.
Absolutely. We have quite a very amazing one. We had a lady who, she called herself cobbler. She makes shoes. And, she was able to win at the 500,000 category of the grant. She's gone ahead to employ more people. In fact, she came first runner-up of the Titans reality TV show that gives, I think, another extra 20 million to entrepreneurs. We have another lady, she does Ankara kind of bag. She just finished from Kwara State University or something. When she applied, she got $1 million. And she's also been able to employ almost 10 people now in her business, and she's been able to scale. So we have quite a lot of, in fact, some of them will be part of this week, Friday. We're going to be having the top 10 pitch their ideas. So some of the previous winners will come and share a few testimonies. Then on Saturday, we have an international US based business founder. In fact, he happens to be one of the top real estate companies in the whole of US. He will be coming to select the top 2 on Saturday. So we're also engaging a lot of top CEOs to be part of us, and we hope someone like that will also be willing to provide some form of mentorship, even if it's 1 hour in a month, right, to help them review their businesses. That's part of the goal, because it's beyond just money. We've seen where people just get money and that's it, right? To succeed in business is way, way beyond money. Money is just a part of it, but not all of it.
Interesting. Now, for many, 2023 is a pivotal year in Nigeria's economic history. People have come into the year with questions, aspirations, hopes, and even dreams. As a personal finance coach, how do you think people can grow their personal finance this year?
Well, good question. This year is a tough year because, I mean, if you look at the data, it's not really smiling. We have a lot of top brands already downsizing. Amazon just let go of 18,000 people. Google has done theirs, Twitter has done theirs. Facebook did earlier, Tesla did earlier. So the data, in fact, Bank of America CEO, president just announced as well that this year, America is going to have like a slight recession. So it's a tough year, and with the effect of COVID, there's a lot of correction because some other, particularly tech companies, overhired during COVID due to the fact that people couldn't go out, so they relied on e-commerce and all that. So there's a lot of correction taking place. And so it means that you might lose your job. So the question is, how do you structure your own personal finance? And I've seen even business owners make this mistake. You must find a way to be able to earn money outside your business, even as a business owner, because there is no guarantee that your business will not have a downtime. So if all your own source of livelihood is banking on just the business and the successes of the business, if something happens to the business, now you're struggling. So my advice has always been, look out for low-risk investment opportunities, mid-risk investment opportunities to do that the returns may be little, but it guarantees that in the day of, tough time, tough season, you have something that takes good care of you. Insurance is very critical at this point. Here in Dubai, for example, there's a new policy the government put in place, which is fantastic for a season like this. Every employee gets to pay just $1.45, right? And they will be getting 3 months' salaries if they lose their job before they get another job. And that's a very good strategy. Now, you might not have that in Nigeria, but you may want to approach an insurance company to say, what kind of insurance can I do, right? By the way, I don't have an insurance company, so I'm not trying to market insurance. But what kind of insurance can I do that guarantees that if anything happens to my income, okay, I can be getting something pending when I get another. So these are low risk opportunities you want to begin to consider at this moment. You also want to consider monetizing your own skills as well. There are a lot of us who can make more money. I mean, I've written 37 books. I'm launching 3 more on my birthday, which is 28th of January. And I make money every day on Amazon. People buy my books all over the world. I'm a public speaker. I'm an author. I make money from all these various. I coach smaller businesses and I charge as well. I make money from all these sectors. So my business, winning or not, I and my family have structured our income in such a way that guaranteed I'm financially stable personally. And I think that's how we need to begin to think.
Now, real estate remains a big money market for investors. As a major stakeholder in the real estate sector, we know you have, some dealings in Nigeria, Dubai, UK, and the US. What do you foresee for the sector globally, and how can Nigerians partake in the benefits?
Well, it's a mixture of good and bad. Bad in the sense that, a lot of the remote work that happened during COVID helped the real estate sector. So I break it down this way. So a lot of people were focused on living in New York. People were living in California and some other big cities were able to move to not so big city, for example, let's say Dallas, and were still able to keep their job in New York because there was a lot of remote work going on. Now, they were able to buy properties cheaper in Dallas compared to that of New York. But what's happening now is that the remote work is reducing now. People are having to be forced back to work. And already, it's not as if the income is really that great anymore. So with this, you're having people, maybe they used to live in a 5-bedroom, they don't mind living in a 2-bedroom right now. But again, in business, one of these I share that as entrepreneurs, we should be able to master good and bad seasons in such a way that you leverage on it no matter what happens. So there are still people taking advantage of even this season to say, okay, now I have maybe smaller apartments available for you. A lot of the richest guys in the world are moving from big 10-bedroom mansions to smaller houses. That's beginning to rate. So you want to cash into 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom housing units as, again, in developed parts of the world. In Nigeria, we have a huge challenge because the housing deficit makes Nigeria quite different from other parts of the world. When you look at other parts of the world, you're having up market, down market. You can't have that in Nigeria because of the huge housing deficit. You have the population growing by the day. You are not having enough houses being built to match up to the volume of, the population that we have. So that's becoming an advantage for real estate developers. But the major challenge, of course, in Nigeria is funding, because we were not necessarily able to access liquidity to be able to build as much houses as we want. I hope some program by maybe CBN, federal government, can come up that support real estate developers so that they can scale faster, build more houses, and also something to make the houses as well accessible. I won't even say affordable, accessible. Can I pay in 30 years instead of the current? Most mortgage companies in Nigeria are like between 10 to 15, and it's even difficult to access. But can we even have something longer for 30 years? So gradually, more Nigerians can be able to own houses and live in decent homes.
Now, you are for those who would like to buy or invest with GTEx Homes, what are the appropriate channels to go through?
Well, they can visit our website, gtexhomes.com, our social media handles as well, or just call the office. If you Google GTEx Homes, you see the various branches, here in Dubai, US, UK, or Nigeria. We are very well spread in Nigeria, and we're even having more locations opening up in Nigeria as well. We are into houses, we're into land, and we're also into off-plans. Off-plans are the most accessible for us, being that we're able to use your money to build the houses gradually. And with this, the prices will be lower because you have a 3-year to pay us and 3 years for us to deliver your house to you. And no party is under pressure because the payment schedule is a lot more flexible. But they can always, Google our name and visit us in our office or call offices, and we're ready to help you out in whatever real estate needs you have.
Now, as the 2023 elections approach, what is your hope in terms of the creation of new economic policies by the new dispensation, especially as it relates to business and entrepreneurs?
Well, good news is that the 3 top candidates, with all due respect to other candidates, are very friendly to entrepreneurship. When you look at the APC candidate, PDP candidate, and the Labour candidates, they all have that, entrepreneurship exposure. And so for me, I'm very positive. In fact, I encourage people to go bullish. Even for us, we're expanding more in our real estate investment in Nigeria because we know that whichever party wins, these are people who are more people who are pro business in terms of policies formation, and I am very positive that we're going to have an economically buoyant Nigeria after the election. I'm very positive about it.
All right. We'll have to leave the conversation here now, but we must thank you, serial entrepreneur and founder of GTEX Holdings, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, for your time on the program.